The next thing I want to do is draw a couple more variations on this star, but I'm not going to do so using the star tool. Instead, I'm going to take advantage of the scale and rotate tools. And by now, you're probably getting a sense that even though scale and rotate are technically transformation tools, they take something that you already have and change it. However, they really function as drawing tools inside the program because you drag around with them inside of the illustration. I've gone ahead and saved my progress as firststar.ai found inside the O5 Shapes folder. And let's say at this point that I want to view this star in the outline mode so that I can see through to the underlying template. What I'd like to be able to do is control-click or command-click on the eyeball in front of this path, but if I do that, I just hide it. And the reason is that you can't change the mode associated with an independent path outline. Even though earlier I sort of implied that you could. You can, as long as you take the time to put it inside of a sublayer. So I'm going to turn this path back on so that we can see it. And I'm going to make sure the drawing layer is active. And I'll drop down to this little icon at the bottom of the layers panel. Notice that it says create new sublayer. If I alt click or option click on it, it's going to bring up the layer options dialog box. Otherwise, it would have just gone ahead and named this new layer, layer 5. And I'll call this stars because we'll have a few stars inside of the sublayer. And then I'll change the color from yellow to light blue. Notice that I can have an independent color associated with that sublayer, but in this case, I prefer to match the color of the drawing layer. So I'll choose light blue and click OK. All right, we now have a new star sublayer. I'm going to move the path into it, like so. And notice there's a couple of differences between a sublayer and a group. A sublayer appears gray in the interface color. A group will appear white. Also, if you meatball a sublayer, you're going to see that it is a layer up here in the control panel. All right, now I can control click or command click on its eyeball in order to switch just that star to the outline mode. And I'm going to zoom in because at this point we want to go ahead and scale a copy of the star to make the smaller star in the center. And I'm going to do that by grabbing my scale tool. Notice by default the transformation origin is right there in the center of the shape. That works out fine for me. And I'll begin my drag somewhere 45 degrees from that transformation origin. That is up right, down right, up left, or down left. That just gives you the most control. So I'll start down left here and I'll drag inward and I'll press and hold the shift key so that I'm assigning a proportional scaling. And then I'll press and hold the alt key or the option key as well so that I can clone the shape. And then I'll release the mouse button as soon as I match the template, and then I'll release the Shift and Alt or Shift and Option keys. Now I'll go up to the stroke option here in the control panel, and I'll change that weight to 4 points. Now, because I'm working in the outline mode, at least where these stars are concerned, I can't see the effect of my stroke, but I'm confident everything's okay because I can see a 4-point stroke in the control panel, and I can even see a dinky little preview here inside the layers panel. I'm going to twirl open that star sublayer so that I can see its contents. All right, the next thing I want to do is select the outermost star once again, and I'll do that by pressing the V key to switch to the black arrow tool, clicking on the outer star. And I'm going to go ahead and create a clone of that star down here at the bottom of my illustration. So I'll drag the star downward like so, and I'm pressing the shift key as I drag. And if I just go a little bit into the scroll bar, I'll get a slight auto scroll, a little bigger than I wanted, but that's okay. And then after I drag the star where I want it, I'll press and hold the Alt key or the Option key on the Mac as well as Shift. So Shift and Alt are down, Shift and Option on the Mac. Release the mouse button and then release the keys, and I've created a clone of that star down here at the bottom of the illustration. In the next exercise, we'll match the big star to the red star using both rotate and scale.